Hi, we're Caroline and Ian. We're a British couple who sold our house, gave away all our possessions, and have been on the van tour for the last 3 years.
The last 3 months has seen us in Greece as we've been exiled from Bulgaria, our new home, on our 90 days out of Schengen. So
Come and join us
as we see
how Christian faith
and van life
work
together on a wing and a prayer.
Still cramming them on. Convinced they'll get them in there. Yeah. Should have showed you that camper trying to get on there. We wouldn't have done it. It's too much of a slope onto the gangplank. But are they convinced they'll be able to? No, it's going to have to wait. Tough cheese, fully full. That's it now. Foot on the brake. I'm petrified he might go a little bit further back, because if he does he's going to... Oh no, there's a bit more room between the back. So, lovely place. It's time to say goodbye. Get back to Delilah. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful.
We've spent a lovely 2 nights here. It's the Oasis campsite. We've been with Nicky and Neil, our friends, and had lots of fun and games. And you've got an olive grove. You've got showers. They're not so good though. The curtains waft in the wind, so they're not very private. You have to shower with your bikini on, unless you're a man, of course. And this is the taverna that we had our Easter Sunday evening lamb at, and it was lovely. The people are so kind here. It's only £5 a night. You get clean water, you can empty your toilet waste and your grey waste, and the washing machine is only €5 as well. You just hand it to the lady. When it's done, she hangs it out for you, and then you just go and get it off the line. But it's been such a really quiet, pleasant stay. And then just down the road, that's where the beach is, and that's where the ferry is to the little island we went to as well. And then you've got olive groves for walking the dog in at night. So a really nice campsite, the Oasis campsite, €5 per night.
Well, she just had a shower. Thank you very much, darling. Yeah.
We've just spent a good 10 minutes shampooing, washing her down, brushing her, and this is the end result of our beautiful
hard work. Oh, there she goes again.
We're trying to keep the bus clean and we're trying to keep her cool, but the bus looks like a barn hoedown. It's covered in hay, and this is why.
We better start all over again, shall we?
No chance. Don't drink it, Delilah. Come on, don't drink it. I've got water for you. I just slipped on a pile of mud. Before we leave the site this morning, we've come out to the beach, and the beach is also near an indoor lake, not an indoor lake at all, an inland lake, that's the word I'm looking for. And our adventure this morning, we're going to try and go paddleboarding. That face that Mr. A's got is because he's holding the board, there's a bit of a wind up. But what I wanted to show you was this. So this is part of the inland lake. You can see it's over there, the main body of it. But the water is so salty that as the sun has dried it up, you can see all the remnants of salt left behind. All the crystals, and that's what that is. A great big bed of crystallised salt. The reason we've parked where we've parked on the campsite is down where we've just walked, it's really soft sand. If you do manage to get across the soft sand, there's this massive area here, but it has got really soft boggy bits in it. So there's a camper van just coming now. It's only a small one and nice and light, so it's managed to get through the soft sand. But this huge area, it does say no overnight parking.
So, right next to where we were camping is this area, and as you can see, you look at those rocks, they look like the bricks, and that's because this was an old city, and it goes into the sea, and the sign says that if you go snorkeling, there will be you can see streets, you can see some of the foundation of the houses, and as you can see how it comes up and out. So a lot of the foundations are still here. They reckon that there's a lot of the city that's still under the sand dunes. Don't know whether they're going to bother actually doing it or not. But as you can see, there's some steps, and as I say, they go out. It goes out into the sea. So when we get the board out, we shall see if we can get some underwater footage. See what we can find. So they reckon that the city goes from here over to that little island, the small island. That other island has got the ferries going to. That's where we were the other day. Absolute paradise that was, wasn't it? So let's go and see what we can explore and find. Frankie down there. Parked up in the restaurant car park instead of coming. Oh no, the coaches are going to drop people off there. This car park at the top is absolutely chock-a-block, and the chances of bringing the camper up as far as that would have meant that it was difficult to turn around. You can see these campers already. He's going to be struggling getting somewhere. And anyway, that's Sparta over there. We've now moved away from the sea and we're up in the hills. I hate saying up in the hills because we'll be up, no kidding, I think we're going up there.
Like the other cities that we visited, they're all built on hills, so we are working our way up and up and up till we get right to the top of the mountain where there is a palace. So we'll have a look what's there. Oh, I think it's just round this side, we can get a glimpse of it. We've climbed to the top of one area, and this was the palace originally. Ian's in awe of how this car got up here. Again, due to the lack of space, some public events were banned, such as chariot racing, pantomimes and animal sports, because this square here was one of the few areas that they had to gather. So they tried to reduce the amount of people who were gathering in these areas. And they kept them down to festivals like Epiphany and Christmas and Easter.
It also says that after the early Christian era, it became where they got social change and became more and more contained and inward looking. Isn't that a surprise?
So this must be where the nuns used to stay, the cells. Ah, even the well hasn't got a thing on anymore. I think there's still people here. Oh, that poor cat's poorly. Oh dear me. Our faces are quite red. We've been marching up and down hills. So this beautiful area apparently was inhabited up until the 1960s, and the monastery here was still inhabited by nuns, working nuns. But when it became a UNESCO site, I think everybody had to leave.
So there is none.
all had their eyes removed. And so we've just asked the lady, why was that? And she's just told us that when the Turks came and took over the area, which was centuries and centuries ago, they defaced them because obviously they're Muslim and didn't agree with the religion. But everywhere you look, faces and eyes have been taken off the saints.
Here's our park up for the night. We're waiting for the train. We're going to go there, I think. And it must be train central. The reason I say that is because just in front of where we are is one railway. You see the tracks and everything. And got some carriages and things here. Right, but as well as that, so that's one railway that goes down there. There's also another one where we're parked, and you wouldn't guess where it is unless I showed you. So Nicky and Neil have joined us again. Hello Nicky and Neil, well done. Here. So we have actually parked on top of the railway. And this is the main railway line that runs all the way to, I think it goes to Patras and up to Corinth, I think it goes to. Yeah. So, get ready. And here is the video of the train that we're going to go on later on. I thought it was a steam train. Oh, it's creaking. New train is quite modern, but this is the old train that you would have gone on. So, so imagine going down that little track with that. And off it goes. Hang on, shouldn't we be on it?
Down here somewhere, and then do part of it. That would be lovely.
Maybe we could do that on the way back, because Neil's got his walking shoes on.
And his energy levels up.
Okay, this is the end of the line. We'll go no further than here. So we've come into a town right at the top. Oh, angle. She's off. Oh. Yeah. Here we are in the main square. A reminder that they've got all sorts of different things, shops and stuff like that, but a reminder of what happened here. Still got the guns. Now I don't know whether we're going to find it, but there's a place that's called the Place of Sacrifice, and what happened here in 1943 was that there was during the war there was resistance going on by the Greeks, and the Greeks were getting encircled by the Germans, and so they took 43 Germans hostage, and they ended up massacring them. So in retaliation, the Germans they rounded up every male out of the village. They rounded up everybody out of the village, and then they separated the women and the children from the young boys and the men and the senior men, and they took them into a field and they shot 483 people. And there's an area, we might find it, and it's called the Place of Sacrifice, and the whole town was burnt to the ground, and from that they've actually built a new town. So that's the story of this place.
So we've managed to walk from the village up to the top of the hill, and the whole feeling here is so sombre. You can actually, I think there's only Gallipoli that's made me feel like this before. You can just feel the pain and the hurt of the people being marched up here. So we've just been talking to another guy, and he said apparently the whole of the village was marched up here. Then after the men were shot, they were going to turn the guns on the women and children, but one of the German guards opened the gate while they were shooting the men and allowed the women and children to flee, and subsequently he was shot as well. So yeah, really sombre.
So if you get the village behind, we'll turn the camera around, get the village, you can see where they came from. I'll have to stop.
So this would have been the walk up. It's taken us probably 10 minutes, Ian, to walk up from the village.
Yeah, but yesterday the village was down first.
Yeah, so as they're walking up from here, the village would have been on fire.
And then all the family with the women with the children would have had to have found places to hide.
In the hills and the
those
mountains,
hills there.
yeah.
So that white building that's standing out in the centre of the town, which is, let me get me,
I think
is there.
Yeah.
That was where they were marched from. They gathered them all together from there and then marched them up the hill.
So let's take a look at the monument now that they've made for them. And this is it.